Hey, Annie Crooners. I've been swapping out 3470 for S23 in my Hellas, and there's characteristics I like in both yeasts, but not completely sold with both. So it sounds like you're using, I'm assuming you're using both dry yeast for that. S23 is dry yeast if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm also going to assume, but it doesn't really matter. You could be using a liquid 3470 strain or a dry 3470 strain. I think they're great, and I think you bring up a good point. Really, what it is keep going, right? I would. You said you made Hellas, great. Keep ripping that Hellas. It's an easy drinking beer. If you're brewing at home, I'm going to assume you're brewing at home, or even if you're brewing on the pro side, keep turning it. Keep going back, keep making that beer, and throw a Czech Pils strain at it. Do different things, because what you're going to find is at least you know what that yeast does with that grist bill, right? That's what I would encourage you to do. So I think kind of what you started is your gut is right here. Swapping out the 3470 for S23. Not completely sold with both. Is it and pop in the chat because I saw you just updated. Do you not like the malt character? Do you find them too sulfury? Do you find one not as clean as the other? That's kind of some of the range. I use the Augustiner strain. I don't believe it's as clean as from an ester profile as 3470. I just had Global, which is the 3470 strain from Imperial in-house earlier this year. And those beers are cleaner than Harvest. I still run Harvest a ton, and it's still definitely a lager strain. I find it to be pretty versatile. So yeah, just kind of, I would keep plugging. I would get your hands on more lager yeast. Okay. You mentioned it says S23 really good head retention, but not as clean as 3470. Yeah, 3470 is, gosh, I don't know if there's anything cleaner, at least as far as the big strains that everybody knows. It's just super clean. And just to make sure we're clear, when I'm saying clean, the yeast gets out of the way. Little to no flavor impact on the finished beer. It allows the malt, hops, and water profile to step forward. Sometimes the aromatic and flavor impression that you can get from lager strain is like a slight touch of sulfur that, quite frankly, should blow off at some point, they'll say. I was listening to a brewer with a Hellas brewer, a brewmaster from Germany, and he was saying that they want their lagers to have, when you first get it in the mug, to have like that fresh struck match type hit of sulfur that doesn't like hang the whole time. It's not like it's rotten eggs or it's farts or whatever, something like that. But like something bright, fresh, and then kind of flashes, right? Kind of flashes off. So yeah, I think your kind of initial path with this is right. Keep pushing with different strains, and see what it gets. And then kind of once you run through everything, I would go back to some of those different strains, maybe something that you liked, and then start changing some variables. Maybe change the lagering time. I will say that I've had, since we've been really extending lagering times on our beers, I've noticed some malt flavors that I don't quite care about seem to clean up, and different things like that. So yeah, I would suggest keep pushing new strains. And when you kind of tap out on that, I would go back to some of the ones you liked and start changing some of the variables and see how you can get those beers to express there. But yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with 3470. You can't go wrong with 3470. It's classic and everything like that. Yeah, cheers to you too, Annie.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you feel as if you got any value out of the video, please like and subscribe. There are also other videos that you can watch. They're gonna maybe be over here or over here. Appreciate you watching.